Welcome to Nollywood Edits. Today I'm going to explain a Nigerian movie called Living in Bondage. The movie begins with a man driving off into the forest with a little girl in the back seat. She sings beautifully before she succumbs to sleep. The car comes to a stop and he grabs something from the back before waking the sleepy girl. He carries the girl into the bush and tells her to count down to 10. At the count of 10, he sliced off the girl's head. Skip to another scene. A man who goes by the name Nnamdi is seen in a club with a friend. Obviously, he can't afford drinks sold in the club, but he comes across an alumna. They discuss for a while. Afterwards, he sees her going into a VIP booth. Nnamdi wants to follow the girl into the VIP booth, but he's stopped by bodyguards. He tries to retaliate and is kicked out entirely from the club with his friend. The next morning, Nnamdi seems excited for his day ahead. He dresses up into a nice suit. He walks enthusiastically on the street. Apparently, he quit his job to start off his own advertisement agency for his old clients from his ex-agency. But unfortunately, his clients gave up on him before he could sign on the deal, and now Nnamdi is jobless and downcast. He ends up at a bar drowning his sorrows with alcohol. He decides to go to the village the next morning to visit his family. Nnamdi arrives at the village and is escorted home by his cousin, Tobe. He is welcomed home warmly by his family. His uncle hears about his joblessness and he is disappointed. On a particular Sunday, the family is just returning from the church and a woman approaches them. When the woman lays her eyes on Nnamdi, she starts blabbering about Nnamdi's father. When Nnamdi tries to get more information from her about his father, his aunt cut off the conversation and urges Nnamdi to the car. He also told off the woman with a glare. On the ride home, Nnamdi questions his uncle and aunt about his father. They shut Nnamdi up, not wanting to talk about Nnamdi's father. Apparently, the man was a ritualist. Evidently, Nnamdi's mother died when he was little, and his father's whereabouts is still mysterious. However, Nnamdi is woken up from a nightmare by his cousin Tobe, who calls him outside. Clearly, Tobe bashed up his father's car, and Nnamdi stares at the car in shock. The two decide to stay low and wait for the man to see the vehicle himself. The next morning, their father saw the vehicle. When he questioned who bashed the vehicle, Nnamdi took the blame. Nnamdi doesn't want Tobe, who is always known as the perfect son and works at the Ministry of Justice, to be criticized. Nonetheless, Nnamdi visits the same aunt who stopped his family at the church the other day in order to get more information about his father. He is welcomed into the luxurious household by the familiar aunt and her son, Obinna. Similarly, Obinna is the same man who killed a little girl, his daughter, the other day in the forest. Since then, he sees the little girl's spirits wandering about in the house and gets spooked. Moreover, Nnamdi goes for a job interview suggested by Obinna. Fortunately, he is hired immediately by a man called Richard William. Richard invites Nnamdi for a ride. He lets Nnamdi have a feel of his Ferrari after the interview. It all seemed too good to be true when Richard sent Nnamdi 50 million naira as forward payment. Nnamdi promptly told Tobe about his experience. Shortly, Nnamdi got his own office and got to work immediately. Subsequently, Nnamdi is invited to a party by Richard, and obviously he seems out of place and not quite used to the high life. A man who goes by the name of Uzoma Adibi, a blogger on the case of the ritualist, gives Nnamdi a call, informing him of the type of people he's working for. Nnamdi, being Nnamdi, obviously ignored the call. Uzoma tracks down Nnamdi's father Andy, who was once a ritualist and part of the organization, and now a pastor at a church. He tells Andy about his son Nnamdi, who is presently working for Richard William. Clearly, this is the first time Andy is hearing about his son Nnamdi. Pastor Andy tells Uzoma that the ritualist organization is called the Six. He said Richard William is the head of the organization. Moreover, Nnamdi has been working for Richard for about 3 months now, and Andy visits his son Nnamdi at his office. Pastor Andy divulges to Nnamdi that he is his father, and that he never knew of his existence. Hearing of this, Nnamdi thinks the man is a crook and sends him out of his office, not believing anything he said. Nnamdi continues his lavish lifestyle with Richard. However, Richard corners Nnamdi. He tells Nnamdi that he can give him anything he wants, but it is at a cost, which he must pay. Nnamdi agrees and says he will pay whatever the price is. Conspicuously, Richard invites Nnamdi to the organization, where he initiates Nnamdi and draws blood from him before they perform a sacrifice. Nnamdi wakes up from the sleep thinking that all that happened was just a dream, until he sees the cut on his hand. He now realizes that he has been initiated into the six. It is a grand occasion, and apparently Obinna is getting married to his second wife after the deaths of his first wife and daughter. At the party, Obinna sees the spirit of his dead daughter loitering around, and he seems distracted. Later in the evening, Nnamdi comes across a beautiful woman called Kelly. He seems smitten at first sight. He starts flirting with Kelly, and the two hit off with each other quite nicely, and he gives her a ride home. After that meeting, Nnamdi sends gifts and they go on dates with each other. Kelly moves in with Nnamdi. Obviously, the two are serious with their relationship, and Kelly seems a bit hesitant because she feels Nnamdi is keeping secrets from her. She wants to know everything about Nnamdi, and Nnamdi complies and answers every question she wants to know about his life. The two end up making love. Richard William gives Andy a visit in the church. Apparently, Richard received information of a blogger who is releasing information of the organization, and his prime suspect is Andy because Pastor Andy was once a member of the Six. So he comes over to issue a warning to Andy, otherwise he will be killed. However, the threat seems ineffective after Andy professed the blood of Jesus upon Richard. Nnamdi is called upon by Chief Omego. Chief Omego is part of the Six. He wants Nnamdi to pay his debts. He must bring the person he truly loves the most for sacrifice. Kelly sees Nnamdi talking to Chuma, the same man whom she used to date, and she seems concerned. Apparently, she also knows about the ritualist rumors. When the two got home, they ended up in a heated argument. Kelly feels he's hiding something for her, till she sights a familiar tattoo on his back, the same one on Chuma. She lost it. Nnamdi also gets aggressive with her. Not wanting to get killed by Nnamdi, she packs her bags and leaves. Right after Kelly left, Nnamdi feels empty. Nnamdi gets a call from Obinna, the same man who lost his wife and daughter due to unknown reasons. Nnamdi visits Obinna, and when he got there, he saw Obinna freaking out. Apparently, his dead daughter's ghost is haunting him. The guy freaks out and jumps down from his 18th floor penthouse, dying immediately. Nnamdi witnessed the whole ordeal and also freaks out. Nnamdi runs to Richard to complain about what he just experienced and to tell Richard that he wants out. Richard reminds Nnamdi to bring the name of the person he loves the most to the altar before he sends Nnamdi out. However, Nnamdi seems more depressed, frustrated, and helpless about everything. Nnamdi doesn't want to sacrifice his beloved Kelly. He is visited by Tobe, his cousin. Tobe sees the mess and he's worried about Nnamdi. The two cousins end up talking, and Nnamdi confesses everything that has been happening in his life to Tobe. Tobe promises to help him through everything. The two cousins fell asleep on the floor. Suddenly, Nnamdi wakes up and a voice commands him to kill Tobe. Nnamdi grabs a knife in a trance and he heads over to Tobe. Tobe wakes up seeing Nnamdi pointing a knife at him. The voice keeps pressuring Nnamdi. Nnamdi loses it and stabs himself with the knife. Nnamdi is sent immediately to the hospital. The blogger Uzoma reports the information he gathered to the news agency. Apparently, Uzoma's sister was Obinna's first wife. His sister and niece were both sacrificed by Obinna. Fortunately, Nnamdi survived the incident. Kelly, Andy, and Tobe see him in the hospital while they watch Uzoma on the news. The end. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.